Hello folks, Junkie Rock 13 here, everything vaping related, Junkie Rock 13. My real name is Ross Sanders, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Kamry K-100, also known to many as the Chinese version of the Empire mod. Now this device was sent to me from Hoosier Vapes for purposes of review, and we're going to take a close look at it and see what I think about it. Let's get right to it, folks. Okay, here we go. This is the close-up of the fully disassembled K-100. I'm going to first start off over on this side. This is the K-100, and most vendors do sell exactly right here. There's also kits that they sell with batteries and a charger, but this is the setup that Hoosier Vapes was selling. Right here in the bottom is the mechanical switch. Now you notice it is a spring loaded switch with a locking ring, and if you look very closely on this little ring, you will notice the words on and off. Okay, I know it's hard to see, but right there you can loosen this up, and when it's loosened up all the way, you cannot fire this mechanism, fire the switch. But when you bring it all the way up, back up to the top, you can fire it. Okay, now the switch is smooth, shiny stainless steel. Okay, now we have a knurled section right here that will give you grip to tighten onto your main tube, and inside it is spring loaded right down to where the post will come up and make contact with the battery. A pretty solid switch. Nothing too fancy, but it works. Now there are 3 small little vent holes right here, and there is none going all the way around. These are the only 3 vent holes that are coming out of this device. Now inside here, the holes do protrude out. I wonder if I can stick this metal piece through there. There you go. So it is coming out through the other side. So there is some holes for venting right there, okay, in case your batteries do vent any gases. Now your main tube of the device is threaded all the way through. Okay, and this is the copper bronze one or brown one. There's blue and gold, and you can also purchase these tubes, these replacement tubes, from other vendors, so you could switch up your colors. As long as you have the switch and the top section, you can replace this and your little fake drip shield. But this is your main tube, and your switch will screw directly into that. Okay, now your top section is basically your telescopic section with your 510 ego connection on top. Now, oh, my battery just beeped. Ego connection, a lot of people hear that and they say, oh great, I can use my Kamry T3s or my EVODs, and unfortunately the space around the ego connection is not large enough and will not fit in. But if you do have clearomizers like the Enokin i16, these will work and do look pretty nice in there. Okay. Or any other Ego 510 threaded devices, tanks, Cardos, Addies, whatever. Now, the 510 or the Ego connection around the outside of this 510 connection down here is actually where this faux drip shield will screw into. Also on here we do have 3 little small holes, but those are actually up here where the drip well is, and are not going to be able to release gases from your battery if venting. But down below, right above the threading right here, we do have 3 more holes which would release any gases should a battery vent any gases. We do have the name K-100 on there. Okay, it's very faint, but it is there. And this piece will screw right into this main tube and telescope in to any size battery that you choose to use. Now the top fake drip shield that I've been talking about is mainly for show if you decide to use a cartomizer or atomizer on this device. This tube or this fake drip shield does not perform like a drip shield. It will not hold your juice in like a drip shield with O-rings down in the bottom. But it will, however, act as a drip shield somewhat. It's not your standard or typical drip shield. It screws down onto the Ego connection down there and does make a nice seal somewhat, but for some reason it doesn't act as a great drip shield like other drip shields normally do. But if you do over drip, there is air holes in the top, so some juices you will have to over drip quite a lot for the atomizer to pull back up any juice that you do over drip. Okay, and then we have the standard ridge mount drip tip that normally comes with these K-100 devices. Now, without adding any cartomizer or atomizer on there, I just want to show you what this device looks with all 3 battery configurations. Here's an 18650 Panasonic. Okay. Now the threading isn't bad. They're not anything special, but they're not bad. You did hear a couple of those squeaks. But once you feel the tension of the battery, give it a little half turn. You don't want to squeeze down all the way, because what you're going to do is end up squeezing the spring down right there, and then you're not going to have a full throw on your button. Okay, so there's what it looks like in 18650. Actually, what I'll do is just take off the switch, pull 18650 out, 18490 or 18500, whatever you want to call them. Bring it down. There's what it looks like in 18490 mode. And one of my favorite stealthy sizes is 18350. Okay. Which is right there. Nice, small, compact, nicely to use in your hand. Now what I'm going to do is just bring in my HH 357. Let me take this drip tip off. My HH 357 atomizer. It does have a 510 to 510 sealed connection on there. And I'm going to just put it in there and put the faux drip shield, oops, upside down, sorry about that, faux drip shield on there. Now the reason why I wanted to show you this is right here, it barely comes up to the top. I hope you can see that. The atomizer stops right below right there. So when using a drip tip like this, it barely connects and doesn't stay on very well. So I have been using a drip tip like this that will fit in and then connect into there. So it kind of looks like that instead of the matching drip tip that I would like to put in there. But you can use a full-size cartomizer and with this faux drip shield and use this drip tip. But right here is the K-100 fully assembled in 18350 mode. We'll take a vape off of it and see what I think. Okay, so there you go. There's the close-up of the Kamry K-100. First off, let's just talk about how I feel about Chinese copies or clones. Now, a lot of people can't afford to buy the original devices, and therefore China does come up with some decent copies of the original devices, which people can afford, and there's a large market for them. First off, I don't take anything away from these mod makers or designers or even vendors. If it's actually a compliment to be copied, in my opinion. I understand why they do it, why China does it, and I understand why a lot of mod makers get upset. The one thing I think is you can never take away from the original, and the originals are copied for a reason because they're such a good device. Now the Empire mod, I did have a chance to vape on one for a couple days. One of my friends let me use it, and it's a fantastic device. Is it better than the K-100? In my opinion, yes. It's designed a little bit nicer. The quality of it is a little bit nicer. But I'm not taking nothing away from the K-100. The K-100, it's a decent device. So if you're looking to purchase an Empire, go get the Empire. If you're looking to purchase the K-100, get the K-100. I think there's room enough for both devices in the vaping community. And when I end up getting an Empire, I will do a video on that as well. So the Kamry K-100 is a fully mechanical telescopic device. Now you can exchange the colored tubes. A couple of the vendors are selling different colored tubes and different colored tops here. But the way it is set up right now, I'm enjoying it. I have an HH357 atomizer in here, low resistant atomizer. I did put two 510 to 510 connections on here. Let me just show you. So I do have two 510 to 510s to make it stand out over through the atomizer cover here. Right now I have some high caliber blue raspberry 18 milligram 50-50 blend in here, and I am vaping this in 18350 mode. Let's give it a vape and tell you what I think. You know, I really do enjoy this device. I enjoy the way it looks. I enjoy the way it vapes. The button is nice and it has a nice strong spring in it. So when you do set it down on anything, it's not gonna fire. Okay. I like the little grooves around here. Decent. And I love this color, the whole brownish color. I do know they have a blue and a gold, and someone told me that they've seen a black. I don't know if it was a custom paint job on it or anything, but I haven't seen vendors have it yet. I like the locking mechanism. It works nice. Sometimes, for some reason, if you loosen it up all the way, it's a kind of a pain in the neck to get it started again, excuse me. But I don't tighten it up all the way or loosen it up all the way. And the one thing I will say, make sure you don't tighten when you put a battery in. Don't tighten it all the way down. Telescopic device, just tighten it to the battery and enough tension so it's not going to come loose. A lot of people tighten it down. My one buddy tightened it down all the way, and now his switch, in order to make it fire, it has a very short throw. He actually squeezed the spring down a lot, and we're gonna have to stretch it out a little bit. But other than that, the Kamry K-100, it's a decent device. I can't complain about it. I know one of my friends had one issue with it, and it was with the ego connection in the 510 ego connection. When he was screwing this down, the first day he got it, he was tightening this down and the threads were stripped. That's just a fluke thing happened. He sent back in the head, they sent him a new head, and it was fine ever since then. That's the only issue, me personally, I have encountered with the Kamry K-100. It's great for the money. They're an inexpensive mechanical device, and they look pretty nice, and they work pretty good. You want to check one out? I know Hoosier Vapes is out of stock right now. I'm assuming they will be back in stock soon. But if you want to check one out, I will leave a link down in the description below. Like always, be kind to one another and Keep on vaping, everybody. Take care.